All right, folks. Good afternoon. Accelerated retirement, man. A lot going on. We said it, and it would be the case. It's all Amazon all the time, and I have a lot of stuff to cover today in AR. So let's go ahead and get airborne. Still coming in from the yoga meditation retreat here on the beach down here in Boca. It is effing freezing. It was like in the 40s this morning. People are walking around with ski jackets. Cracks me up. Went to go get some coffee this morning, and this lady's like dressed like she just landed from Aspen. Can you guys hear me? Somebody said they're Nordo, not me. All right, here's my positions. Amazon synthetic covered call. I actually woke up this morning as Amazon sold a little bit of the news, added some 3450s or something like that to Friday that still had some nice premium. And then did the same thing with my Amazon short calls. I had 200 shares, had 2 contracts short, could have brought in 16 grand today at the open. Those showed a $10,000 profit, got out of them, put on new different ones further out of the money. Microsoft covered call. Apple covered call, still in Samara. I added a SLV. I have an SLV covered call, trying to get out of my stupid 4A with a bull put spread as well, which is looking very fine. Put on a bull put spread earlier today. And Nokia, which is so silver was a 4A, but it's recoverable. Nokia is stupid, and that was drinking money that should not have been spent. And then I have a couple SPX day trades on for today. Now, everybody sit up straight, take a deep breath, and you ready for this? I'm long Tesla. I mean, I can't even. Somebody over in the Afterburners group, like, Wiz, what did they do to you at the yoga retreat? I'm going to get into all of this. Oh my God, everybody's freaking out. You heard me. Whoever just said another foray, Graham down in Australia said the same thing. This is not a foray. I'm going to tell you why. And it's going to be fantastic. Just ask me. So everybody's going, yeah, exactly. People are like, should I short it right now? Sure. Go ahead, take the other side of the trade. So yeah, exactly. Solo Tesla. I said that this morning. I said maybe the new service will be dual Amazon and Tesla. Now everybody, calm down, pick yourself up off the floor, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. I think as an auto company, it's worth $100. It's not an auto company. So let's just get strategic. Let's do our normal brief. Had a call with a couple folks who should be in the know. One military, one wearing a suit, former military, but still up kind of in that area, who didn't get fired yet. The new SecDef came in and like fired everybody, which guess what is his, which is his right, but here we go. So this is a big deal. So under 4 years of Trump, some generals and admirals were made and kind of got the Trump stink on them, who are kind of support Israel and stuff like that. And this one guy, former military, now wearing a suit, who runs in these circles, said there's a massive clash. I mean, the current SecDef was 8 years under Barack Hussein Obama. He's an African American. He was went from there to private equity, and his hedge fund or whatever firm was in all the defense stuff. He's a swamp monster. What I'm getting at is this: the vast majority of military folks understand that, or we know military history. We know when at least Adolf Hitler did a decent job of lying to Neville Chamberlain. Neville Carey, I don't even know who the Secretary of State is. I don't know who that dude is. Another swamp monster from the Obama admin. They're going to do the signed document piece in our time. I have a signed document from the mullahs after we flew them more money on an airplane that there's going to be peace in our time. Israel isn't going to put up with it. Israel will attack, from what I heard yesterday. Not that I needed to hear that. I kind of used my own brain. So the biggest black swan event for this year will be a no shit strike, not Mossad killing dudes in traffic or the Stuxnet virus part 2. It'll be warheads on foreheads. Um, Iran has already promised that any strike by Israel would be considered a strike by the United States, even under Barack Hussein Obama, when Netanyahu was like, I'm going to take him out, Barack. He's like, no, like, just kind of wait for after my election, then I'll give you some bunker busters, and then you can take him out. Okay, we'll wait. Reelected. Where's our bombs? Hello, click. Obama. They never talked again, from what I understand, because Obama's a liar. This is big. Confirmation from dudes I trust with my life to this day. And that's the Pentagon's big. North Korea is North Korea. He starts lighting off nukes, we'll send him, like most Democrats and Rhino presidents do, a shitload of cash and aid and food. That's what they're used to doing. Madeleine Albright flew over there. Hell, Bill Clinton flew over there. I think a Jimmy Carter appearance too, or whatever, to get one of the hostages. I don't know. North Korea is less of a big threat. The fact that at the end of the day, my buddy said this yesterday. He's like, dude, Donald Trump is the new Dennis Rodman. The guy lights off some nukes. Donald Trump hops on the Trump Batcopter or jet and flies over to North Korea and shakes the guy's hand again. And dude, let me open a Trump Tower in Pyongyang. This is a big deal. This will be a 2021 potential shit sandwich black swan. If Israel attacks Iran with, no kidding, airplanes, warheads on foreheads, frickin' naval battle, the market will go down by 50%. Period. Which will put Joe Biden absolutely immediately into that Great Depression that I'm predicting we're going to see in the next 4 years. Not a Great Depression, it will be a depression. We did this last year. It wasn't a foray, it was a smart trade. We traded EWJ for a little bit, didn't we? What's EWJ, folks? Japan. Paching. Governor Harishi Kuroda, their Fed chief. We played in the EWJ because I knew what was going to happen. They were going to cancel the Olympics, right? December, January, February. We're not canceling, never canceled. We will never, Shinzo Abe, we will never cancel. Oh, shit, we're canceled. That was awesome. We played the EWJ, and then I never looked at it again. That's a monster run off the bottom with EWJ. Here's what's funny. If you look at this chart of Japan, of the iShares Japan chart, but you could look at a chart of Japan, they have been literally wandering around for 30 years in a zombie economy. It's dead. They had to do all they're us in the future. They are the United States future, a zombie dead economy of just stimulus, buying the government propped up economy. They just can't get it going. Governor Kuroda is Jerome Powell, and they drink the sake and smoke the crack, man. Guess what? The economy sucks, but we all know here at Top Gun Options that the economy is not the stock market. Clearly, I have on I saved that. I took a picture one day. It was March or April. One of those. It was at the bottom of Jim Cramer's like Mad Money. Best market rally, whatever. And the lower third said 16 million jobs lost in the past couple. What was that? Well, that exactly captures. It's in my screenshot somewhere. That captures what's going on. So I'm rambling about this because here comes Tokyo. We will have the Olympics, even though what's his name? DeSantis here in Florida is like, we'll take it. We can do it. We're ready to go. We're open. We think COVID, while might be a threat to some people, is not to America. Man, I went down. I did my meditation this morning. I had some breakfast. Nobody cared. You put your mask on to go in somewhere because COVID doesn't fly. The 4 steps from the door to the table is COVID capital. But once you sit down, you're fine. Nobody cares in Florida, folks. We're having a blast. Our COVID rates are the same, if not less, than the rest of the country. Get over it. Tomorrow night, Panthers game. Friday night, another Panthers game. We got a box. We're having a blast. Japan, Olympics, even the athletes, I think they said this morning, or I read, has to wear masks when they're competing. No chanting. No singing. No USA. If you chant, we'll throw you out of the Olympics. I see the Olympics as a pointless waste of money anyway. For the amount of money a country spends on the Olympics, we could house every homeless veteran in that country or give free health care at college. Insert thing here. I was going to compete with that baton thing with the ribbon on the end of it, but I wasn't that good. Okay. But I haven't talked Japan in a while. No, to be honest with you, that's why I said that. I haven't talked Japan in a while. I would not just blindly start jumping here and trading EWJ. I gotta go back and card count a little bit and see what's up. I'm just bringing it up in our strategic brief of looking around the world, as in, hey man, Olympics, here we come again. But China, we're in. I love this headline. Biden's nominations for key diplomatic posts slow as power transition hits bumps. So all the folks that China want in charge in the United States, who actually aren't in charge because they're Chinese plants, they're complaining about it. Hey man, get all the people that we paid for in office. Where's Representative Swalwell? Give him a position in the cabinet. Missionary. We talked about this, that China's coming to eat our lunch. I said 2 to 3 years. I think this article says 5. It doesn't matter, folks. They're building military bases off the coast of Florida. I support and salute our new overlord, China. You love or hate Donald Trump, you're going to miss the dude. He stood up to him. Here we go. Before we get into Amazon and everything else. Dave Portnoy is getting destroyed. He was on Como the other night. Como called. So Dave Portnoy's a Chinese base is being built in like the Caribbean, Jamaica, some poor Caribbean island nation is like, China's building a deep water port. Insert reason for a deep water port. It's called troop ships and aircraft carriers and submarines. Yeah, the media don't report this, folks. I love CNN. They just can't let go. Instead of talking about what's going on with the Biden administration and this or that or whatever, it's all about Republicans, about the Liz Cheney vote today and the other goofy Congresswoman Republican. It's all about the turmoil. It was on in the lobby, and my skin was crawling. But I'm watching CNN. I'm like, the dude's 20 miles up the road in Mar-a-Lago, and they can't let him go. CNN is full about everything Republican, not one word about the Democrats. But anyway, he uses the term suit. Hey, man, I'm not a suit. It's us against the suits, right? It's Dave Portnoy, the Barstool Sports owner and pizza review guy, against the suits. What did he say during all the height of this thing, man? Do not sell, hold the line. He showed you, what did he have the other day? He stole my picture, the Braveheart hold, William of Wallace saying hold. Now everybody's making these memes about him with paper hands, because last week, folks, he said what? I will go broke before I sell any of my shares. What did he do yesterday? Sell his shares. Allegedly, according to him, he lost $700,000. Now, if you get into this thread, folks, I had a good call with one of my attorneys this morning. He's like, dude, do you still do your disclaimer at the beginning of the webinar? I'm like, of course I do. Thinking he's like testing me. He's like, why? He's like, this guy is, look at this. Last week he's telling people what to do and this and that. People listened to this guy and lost a shitload of money. This was comical. I'm like, I tell people to paper trade. Dave Portnoy doesn't. Buy all the GameStop, then you can. I'm like, exactly. And people are like, hey man, 700 grand, really, you're worth $100 million. You couldn't have like held more. What did I tell you guys? I said that the short squeeze not only end, but whoever's at the end gets screwed. Buy GameStop, hold it, hold until the end. I'll go broke before I get out of these. He dumps them. Woo. Well, I'm not going to read some of these tweets because of the language that is a little bit harsher than mine, but he had these people whipped up into a froth. At least Chamath, I'm not even going to try his last name, was like, I think he waited until he got on the CNBC thing to say, hey, here's what I'm going to do. and I'm going to give it all to charity. He didn't want to see. He didn't want to like front run like Chamath. Hey, I got out of it before I came on the air, and now the thing implodes. So I don't know. I don't see these guys trades. You guys see mine. I'm completely open. But as Dave was doing this last week, man, I was like, okay. But now people are like totally all over this guy. I mean, some of them, his true folks are like, come on, man. He's doing some good work with his Barstool Sports thing. I think they raised like $35 million for. So as you see on his thread, it's interspersed with him calling business owners and rescuing them and bailing them out. Which this lady, I watch all of these Augie and Ray's restaurant. As soon as they see him on here, and he gives them money, man. So he is doing the Robin Hood thing. So Christina, well, now my compliance guys are worried about me, and we're completely over here from paper trading to the disclosures to the disclaimers and all sorts of stuff. All he was getting at was this dude last week was telling all these unwashed masses retail traders to do something. And they did, and they lost a lot of money, or some of them did. So unless you're a registered investment advisor or broker dealer, you can't give investment advice. And he really didn't even hedge some of his statements like, well, I can't tell you what to do, but here's what I'm doing. The dude was just over the top. So I don't know. I don't want to waste too much more time on here. I'm just saying that when he was doing all of this stuff, I'm like, dude, you gotta. I mean, not that the dude he reads some tweets, but I kept posting. I'm like, hey guys, learn how to trade options, man. Don't first of all, this is going to end miserably, and second of all, you can lose all your money. So I was trying to jump in here and be a little bit of a voice of reason, but nobody cares. Hell, maybe I'm a suit, which I'm not. So I went from being unwashed masses to a suit, hated being a suit, and came back and started Top Gun Options. Okay. Yeah, exactly. $700,000 loss. But folks, let's take a look at the swamp. Today's Wiz's brief on the swamp is alive and well. Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary, get your barf bag ready. Janet Yellen, the Secretary of the Treasury, swamp monster, got a waiver, gets an ethics waiver. You have to wonder when you hear the word ethics waiver, because she's in D.C. right now leading a regulator meeting on GameStop insanity after taking $810,000 from Citadel and over $7 million in speaking fees to Wall Street, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Citadel. The woman, how can you? Namaste, namaste. This is the swamp, an ethics waiver. Ain't no waiving ethics, folks. The woman clearly has a conflict of interest. It's like Stacey Abrams in Georgia. Her sister is a judge in Georgia. The Republicans were suing, like, these ballots, you can't do that. That's illegal. Denied. Why are you even in this case, Your Honor? You should recuse yourself. Democrats don't. Jeff Sessions and stupid Republicans do. Republicans play touch football, hoping the crowd likes them. Democrats could give a shit about the crowd and knock your teeth out. I salute them. I tip my hat to them. This woman sitting or looking into this stuff is a disgrace. Janet Yellen speaking fees at Citadel, COVID lockdowns. You can't. And this horrific press secretary, I'll circle back to you, do a shot every time the woman says, I'll circle back with you. I don't think we have too many deaf people at Top Gun Options, but can somebody explain to me why with the press conferences now, there's a sign language person? I'm with my tinnitus, I can't hear shit. I actually have to put the words on the TV. Is there one TV in this country that doesn't have the words screaming across? I can't hear, guys. I think I'm going to finally get Costco hearing aids since the VA won't give them to me. Yeah, it's probably the ADA demanded it, but I don't, and I'm not trying to be. I'm not. I'm going deaf, folks. But I'm not learning sign language. The words are on there. Whatever. My point being, Janet Yellen accepted. Blah blah blah. Reporter: are there any plans for her to recuse herself from advising the president on GameStop and Robinhood? No, and she's an expert and deserves that money. No, she won't recuse herself. She's an expert and demands that and deserves that money. Jesus, you can't. One of the I'm not going to get into this because I got a namaste, man. We got a big Amazon and Tesla thing coming here, but Janet Yellen is one of the reasons we're where we are, and not in a good way. She's an enabler. This market should be literally half of what it is right now. When you look at a Tesla would have to hit it out of the park, earnings 89 years to have their current valuation. I'm going to MF Tesla, and I'm going to, again, in my flight suit, I'll tell you one thing. In my Gordon Gekko suit, I'll tell you another. Yeah, exactly, Karen. That's a great point. But Amy Comey Barrett has to recuse herself regarding anything Trump. Exactly. Well, Karen, what's even funnier with the media, the New York Times article last week, Joe Biden is a fantastic Catholic who supports sticking a thing into a child's head up to the moment of birth. What a fantastic Catholic. I wish I could be more of a Catholic like him. Amy Comey Barrett went to church last Sunday. She's an insane Catholic. She can't be trusted. Partial birth, or if you're the governor of Virginia, after birth abortion, which the last time I checked in my political science class is murder. Joe Biden, good Catholic, not according to the Catholic Church. Nancy Pelosi, I'm a great Catholic, not according to the Archbishop of San Francisco, which won't let her in their church. But you have to have your daily hypocrisy update. So, Joe, tonight I was an LSO, man. I was a landing signals officer. I stood on the back of the boat when I wasn't flying, day or night, with little foamies in my ear, as the guys on the flight deck wore foamies and Mickey Mouse ears. We didn't wear the Mickey Mouse ears because we had to hear the engine, man, especially at night. You see a couple lights and you have to hear the dude and or the lady, how he's working the throttle. So hundreds of times in my career, a jet has gone past me, feet away from me, sometimes in full afterburner. The tinnitus drives me nuts. Another reason to do meditation and yoga. I might even, between us ladies, I might be flying over to the Caymans for the legal stem cells to get put here. That's like my last shot, man. It's awful. It's really bad. Okay. What did I've had two Navy guys work for me, both half deaf. Thank you for your service. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. Everybody ready? Take a sip of coffee, strap in. Let me start with let's get strategic. I just poked myself in the eye, now I'm blind. What did I think was going to happen? We've been talking for a couple weeks, we've been talking this whole time about what? A potential February SS shit show. And what have I caveated that with? Amazon. Amazon might save us from the shit show. Matter of fact, this might be February. That's the end of January, Wiz. My point being is maybe it already happened, the shit show. Let me save that to the end because it still might be. Or let me give you a little taste now. This, cut and print this and put this in your trade journal. November, December, Santa Claus, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas, kind of level into January, waiting for earnings. And then let's put an equal sign out here. We're going to see what's going to happen. This is shaping up to be, and I know I'm the dude that says don't trade off the left side of the chart, but let's at least frame the picture. This is what happens in 30 years of doing this. It took me a couple years remember, guys, I was trading before like there was an internet in 1991 and 2. Naval Air Station Whiting Field in the panhandle of Florida, like mailing in checks to USAA or calling on the phone to get a quote. Remember that? AAB to get a quote. So there was I had no history, right? Or I'd go to the base library to buy some books, but never did I really read like Santa Claus Rally, Jan Hover for Earnings, and Feb Shit Show. So, this is following history. Now everybody can repeat after me because I say it all the time. Who cares? We have Janet Yellen, who's a Wall Street swamp creature, clearly $810,000 from Citadel. Folks, I think I'm a hell of a keynote speaker. Janet Yellen, I've seen speak virtually. She sucks. You know who's one of the worst keynote speakers I ever saw? Marcus Luttrell. Yeah, Marcus Luttrell from Lone Survivor. But guess what? I hung on every word that dude said. He was a bad speaker. It was incredibly powerful listening to Marcus Luttrell talk. One of the greatest Americans. Here's my point. Why would you pay a woman $810,000? Bill Clinton, $500,000 keynote in Russia. Could you imagine if Donald Trump was in Russia giving keynotes? So, why do you pay for this? Is how, when people go like, how did these government employees become multimillionaires? This is how. And you have a crackhead son gallivanting around the world promising access to your dad who's got a name. You pay for access. Ken Griffin of Citadel is not an idiot. Ben Bernanke announced his retirement from the Fed and will be moving to the private sector. Ben, Ken, you're hired. We saw this in the TV show Billions. The SEC regulator looking into his hedge fund, he hired. This isn't rocket surgery, folks. All right. A lot of mumbling in that point. What I'm getting at is today is today. Now is now. We have Janet, Swamp Thing. We have Jerome. I think Jerome Powell did a fantastic job. Can't stand when Trump did what he did to that man. Another area I had a significant problem with Donald Trump. Horrible leader. Donald Trump, shitty leader. I was always taught as a naval officer and as an executive. Actually, I taught people this as an executive. I learned it as a naval officer. You praise in public and you counsel in private. That's rule number 1 of leadership. Subtle plug. It's in my book. Donald Trump. The Fed chief sucks. I'm like, if only somebody who hired him could fire him. Donald Trump, petulant child in those type of situations. You got Jerome. You got Janet. You have Chuck, Nancy, Joe. Looks like Joe might be lukewarm to the $1,400. Blah, 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 blah. What I'm getting at is this February is not last February. Last February was when we made millionaires. The February before that, yeah, kind of like this. Rip your face off rally, hover January, shit show. So the last 2 Februaries, shit shows. I think maybe the third, I forget. I don't know where. It's somewhere. I thought I mapped out like the past 5, and the majority are that. I think there was one exception. So as we get into my groundbreaking news here on Amazon and Tesla, keep this in your brain housing group. Be present, namaste, go to a meditation retreat, but don't forget the past. Don't live in the past, but don't forget it. Here we go. So, man, it was a busy afternoon. My mastermind call. This was funny seeing Amazon earnings after the close, because they didn't have earnings after the close. It was after the close. What did they have at the close? Jeff Bezos is stepping down. The stock initially imploded. Now, After trading Amazon for almost forever, I'm going to tell you that this is Amazon's MO. Have you ever noticed that just about every Amazon call has a something big attached to it? Why? It's like they have a smoke bomb in their hand and they go, look at this. By the way, we printed money and we're a monopoly. But ha-ha! Jeff Bezos isn't going anywhere. This guy, Andy Jassy's been his lieutenant since like day one. He was his tech advisor. I've had tech advisors. I was laughing with my tech advisor last night. He's like, "Are you going to do? Can I be?" I'm like, "Dude, come on." Jeff Bezos going to the chairman of the. Andy Jassy on an aircraft carrier, folks, is the captain of the ship. He runs the boat, baby. Also on his ship usually is who? The commander of the strike group, an admiral. So the admiral always does this. So like, well, Captain, it's your ship. At the end of the day, it's his ship, but they kind of do that joke thing. Jeff Bezos is not going anywhere. Does anybody remember an old guy named Steve Jobs? And he gave over the reins to a booger eater named Tim Cook. Cut, paste. Here it is. This is what's, Jeff Bezos, hey, I'm going to go focus on my philanthropy and stuff like that. Awesome. I think that's great. That's awesome. That's good. I love it. He's not going anywhere. But he's also going to be able to focus on space, the final frontier, and this and that, and all sorts of other stuff. Great article. The journals had fantastic coverage. That was my entire breakfast this morning, was reading the journal on Amazon. Jassy built the cloud. He said we were in Jeff's like town home in 2000 or whenever it was, talking about this concept of how do we get like just an average person to be able to have the same computing or programming power as like big companies without having to pay for it? Well, what if we host it? Okay, well, why don't we call it? And there we go. From literally, using the Post-its on a wall in a condo to this. What a just great story. However, yeah, exactly. No, they were very quiet about this because of the CEO announcement. But again, I'm telling you, it dropped the smoke thing. It was huge. But let me give you my cliff notes about this morning, and it just refreshed, and I did not want that. So great call this morning. And actually in after hours, a lot of guys and gals on my mastermind group are buying both hands Amazon. And I'm going to tell you the discussion we had. So let me scroll up to it because I don't. Hello. Here we go. Coming up to it. I could talk about it at the end, maybe, or maybe we'll do a webinar next week on this. It's a separate. These are two investing clubs that I am a member of. All right, here we go. Where am I? This is because I as we are going, I'm typing. Hello. Wait, down here. 1 second. All right, here we go. All right. Digging into the numbers this morning on the call, 125.5 billion in sales, 7.2 in net income, which is weird because Jeff couldn't find a way to get rid of that. I'm serious that most likely Jeff Bezos was probably like, damn it, how do we get rid of that? They actually had problems with that. 40% of all, I said the word all, online shopping is Amazon. Their current market cap is 1.6 trillion. Their year-over-year sales growth is it seems like always it's got a 3 in front of it, a 38%. And I remember some folks coming into this earnings going, well, they can't sustain that. That's like impossible. It's a hockey stick, folks. Now it's going to be interesting to see someday, and it will happen, that it'll be like 25 and the stock will implode. People are like, haha, they're losing their mojo. But as you do look at the law of large numbers, even when you get to be a $3 trillion company, 10% year-over-year sales growth is disgusting. Here's what's funny about this. They said they would have actually done better, but they initially struggled to handle the surging demand. With the COVID stuff, they all kind of thought, well, we're all going to die too. No, my God, look at the order screen. Holy crap, hire people. They also had about nearly $12 billion in COVID-related expenses, which should obviously, they said, disappear. Take that number and drop it to the bottom line. Meaning PPE or training or stickers that say socially distance, even though we're standing next to each other. You got to have the government person come out and say, good stickers. And you give them an envelope full of cash. AWS pace of growth has slowed, but that's because it's becoming a behemoth. Microsoft and Google are starting to eat into it, but Amazon is starting to eat into what they do as well. Here's what's funny. Did you see in the numbers their advertising revenue? I, for one, I can't stand Google. I can't stand Amazon. I like Amazon more. Jeff Bezos actually sat on stage with a 4-star Air Force general when Google's like, we hate the Pentagon and we work for the People's Liberation of China. And Jeff Bezos said, we're an American company. Now, he might have been trying to get the Jedi deal, which might be going to him anyway. But they're starting. This is like AWS, man. Somebody at Amazon one day and said, why does Google and Facebook kind of have all these search stuff or advertising? Steve, get on it. Advertising revenue rose 64% in the last year. So they are going after Facebook and Google. Here's what's funny. And this Ken Griffin did this last week, and so did Stevie Cohen. They paid a $62 million fine for their drivers and tips and all sorts of stuff like that. As it was happening, they were Gordon Gekko. They didn't care. They don't care about their drivers. Don't give me this stuff that they do. And I appreciate that they don't. That's great as Gordon Gekko. As an American, I think that it's a disgrace. But we're talking numbers here. They paid a $62 million fine. Jeff Bezos, that's probably his tip money for the year. What do the rich usually do? Last week is a prime example. We are getting destroyed in these shorts. Melvin Capital, the dude who's building a $44 million house. It's not Fisher Island. It's on right down the road here. Melvin Capital. The guy's down 52% year to date. It's going to be more because his redemptions are skyrocketing. It's going to be funny if this guy is still building his house, because I think in the article it said this week his lawyer's supposed to be going in front of the Miami Beach zoning board because he bought 2 lots and he's tearing down one and wants to put his tennis court on that one. So we'll see if his attorney shows up. Could you imagine being in that dude's hedge fund and being like, I'm broke and you're putting in a tennis court? So yes, exactly. They would rather pay a fine than do what? Lose money. Last week, Ken Griffin, Melvin Capital, SAC, they're getting destroyed with the shorts. They got to buy to unwind the short, and now that makes it go up even more, and we're destroying each other. Holy crap, end it. Hey, Vlad, end it. Dear Robinhood traders, we are now stopping trading in this and this because of volatility and Come on, folks. The worst thing that will happen, which won't happen because Janet's got her paycheck, the worst thing that would happen is the SEC investigates, like they did with Bernie Madoff, right? Hey, man, here's all the evidence of this guy committing a crime. Next. Here it is again. Get out of here. SEC investigates. Stevie Cohen, who was going to go to jail for a significant amount of time, $1.8 billion check. All his lieutenants and captains went to jail. Read that article from the Atlantic on him. So last week, they picked up the phone and called E-Trade, Robinhood, and said, stop. We have to get out. They were Duke and Duke at the end of Trading Places. Turn those machines back on. They did. This wasn't Hollywood. This was real life. So I'm ranting, but here's what I'm getting at. Amazon would rather break the law and the rules and then get a fine than deal with the truckers or the drivers. The biggest price hike I saw so far today was Susquehanna, which was our competing firm when I was in Chicago. $5,200. When? They didn't say. Let me make some more news today. I also believe Wiz Capital made a call today that Amazon will also be $5,200. When? Exactly. I think it'll be $5,200 this year. You guys know me. Oh, how about CME yesterday and today? CME, the exchange, who parties in the Hamptons and out in where did I watch Bon Jovi? On the lake in Winnetka. The CME group. We have increased margin requirements on silver futures. Oh, that's also a way to stop the retail trader, folks. The other day, they did that with GameStop. You now need 100% margin to trade these names, meaning if you want to buy 1,000 shares of GameStop, you better have $100,000 or whatever it is. But folks, I got to be honest with you. On page 500 of your brokerage agreement or the exchange agreement, it says they can do that. Folks, when somebody comes up with an agreement that you have to sign, that's not kind of your deal, it benefits them. Exactly, Karen. It's a good point. The other reason CME can do this is because what? 2 days ago, there was more silver paper than there's physical silver. Guys, it's kind of like GameStop short shares. The short float is 140%. Where are those 40% of the shares? Did somebody take a crayon and write it on a piece of paper? Here's a share. What? Same thing with these mercantile exchanges. They're like, dude, if everybody said, I demand my silver, the market breaks. But ladies and gentlemen, meet Wiz. I was a little chubbier. I think I had more gray hair. 2008 Wiz. Good. Let it break. Let everybody see the lights in the kitchen with the roaches. The fact that the retail trader is kind of broken Wall Street should tell you who it slews in favor of. We all kind of knew that. I told you this. I jumped the fence, ran around for 3 years and said, I can do this on my own. Okay. Here we go. I'm not going to dig. I dig the numbers. Andy, great dude, booger eater, is going to be fantastic. Jeff isn't going anywhere. Here's what I want to get to. What else did I have? No, we'll get to this in a second. I told you the S&P would reverse here, guys. You cannot keep this market down. I have a good day trade on that's up $3,000 so far, but I did buy some disaster puts down here at 3,800, just in case. We'll get to that. But you ready for this? Here it is. My call wrapped up with an interesting thought. Just like Carnegie, Vanderbilt, J.P. Morgan, and Rockefeller, and Henry Ford, it will be Musk versus Bezos, not Zuckerberg or Sanjay, whoever at Google. Listen, has everybody watched the series, The Men Who Made America? What a great series. Write that down. Write that down because it's awesome. So, these are the two richest men in the world, and depending on their share price, they go back and forth. My skin is crawling when I write this, but I might be jumping into Tesla. Not as an auto company, but as an Elon Musk play. I like that guy more than Bezos anyway. He wrote last year in like November before the election, he's like, the left is losing the middle. Clearly you were wrong, Mr. Musk, because apparently like the middle voted for Joe Biden. Anyway, it is an awesome series. Strongly recommend it. Not just an Elon Musk company, but what? an energy play. How about Nancy Pelosi? Before Joe Biden, a week or two, announced all this EV shit, she bought a shit pot of Tesla. Just on a whim, right? Congressmen don't get charged with insider trading. Actually, one did last year, I think it was, and he was a Republican. So I think that was it. So it was a great summation. The lady that gave the and Goose brought up a great point. XLY, obviously, as we talked about on Monday, and Solo Amazon added Tesla. So we were going to get both in XLY. Goose actually made more money trading XLY than any stock last year, including the Moz, by scaling and selling premium and the steady growth. It was by far his biggest winner. The dude does a great job of nibbling. Something's going down a little bit, but he knows it's ultimately going to be up. He nibbles. It's called scaling, right? It's a great way to do it. Usually I drop a shit pot of a nuclear bomb. These sniper shots can be just as, if not more effective. So either buy Amazon and Tesla shares or calls, buy the XLY shares or calls, or all of the above. New service, dual Amazon and Tesla. So Tesla, I've been, even though I MF the damn thing, I love Elon Musk. The reason I didn't like Tesla was because he was running around for a couple years pretending he was an auto company. He's not. Oh, did anybody buy space puts? Somebody needs to be the SPA, single point of accountability, and get the space calendar and all this stuff. The other day they tried to land their damn thing and it blew up, and that happened. Not to be morbid, I do have a couple buddies who, anytime there's a space launch, especially with people on it, they buy puts. It's gross, but they're cheap, to be honest with you. Martin, I don't know. You can Google that real quick. XLY Holdings, I think it's, 15%. I don't think it's above 20. Amazon's like a 22 in the XLY, and Tesla's like whatever. It's something. So it's official. This is the reason I'm talking about this. It's not solo Amazon. This is accelerated retirement. This is how you're going to accelerate your retirement, folks. By investing in at Amazon, Tesla. Those two gentlemen are the men who, oh God, can I steal a Trump? Made America great again? No, I can't do that. So we have Ma. If you're in accelerated retirement and you want to get rich, you invest in Ma or Matt. Holy shit. You invest in me. I'm telling you, man, that meditation shit works. Oh my God, that just hit me. You invest in Matt. I'm going to go do a pizza review this afternoon. Make America California. All right, so I am done. And I'm done dealing with Tesla as an auto company. It's a person company. It's a dude. Now, of course, I love everybody in this room and in the investment clubs that said, great, Wiz is getting along Tesla, I'm going to short it. I love that attitude because I'd say the same thing. This, Maddox, exactly. Ken, my head can't get any bigger. Exactly. So this is a dude investment, not a company investment. Tesla is a vehicle for dude. A buddy of mine always says cocktail sauce, or no, shrimp are a vehicle for eating cocktail sauce. He's like, I hate shrimp. It's just a vehicle. Tesla is a vehicle for Elon Musk. And that's all I care about. Yeah, I'd love to do a segment with Portnoy. He could be stock guy and I'd be option guy. We actually did that at the Options News Network. We had Mad About Options. Jim Cramer, we'd watch Cramer that night, and the next day we'd do a Mad About Options thing. Like, hey, Jim took one of his shoes off and broke the computer with it saying, bye, bye, bye. If you believe the guy, this is how you could do it with options. If you think he's on crack, here's the other side of it. It was the most popular program on the Options News Network. I loved it because that's what like a guy like me would want to do. So, Mike, that's a threat, right? What happens when Elon sells Tesla to VW so he can play with other ideas? I don't think that's going to happen. Tomorrow, we actually have on my call, somebody's going to come in. I don't know who the dude is. I think it's an external because I don't know his name, to brief us on Tesla. Because the group in there, most of them aren't. Some people have crack pipe trades on Tesla, but nobody's really in it. Because this group is not a they look like that. They look at a Tesla as an auto company. And today, as we were talking through this, I'm like, holy shit, man, it's the men who build America. Because in the Wall Street Journal coverage, they talked about Musk and Bezos and how they're battling. Folks, there's a space race going on right now. It's the Soviet Union versus America. Jeff Bezos is the Soviet Union and Elon Musk is America. So I am going long on these two fighting and it being good for their companies. Okay, so I don't think he'd ever sell to VW. That's not. He's a Jeff Bezos, folks. So he said this in the Wall Street Journal. He's like, guys, being the CEO of Amazon is like dated. It's a lot of my time. I'd love to hand it off to one of my lieutenants who's been here since almost day one, so I can focus. This was a great thing. I credit Jeff Bezos for doing this. I'll put this in my next book. He said, I can't. I'm going to pick up my binoculars and look, I'm going to pick up my telescope and look up. That's lead, follow, or get out of the way. Jeff Bezos said, hey, man, I've been leading. I certainly ain't going to follow anybody. Let me get out of the way and actually go up. So that's kind of my mindset for this. Now, I think he will be a future president as well. What do we got? 8 minutes. So over here, I didn't have enough. I bought, because I'm going to do the covered call thing since it's, I bought 300 shares of Tesla for $258,000. Okay, because I like doing the covered calls. Now, if you don't want to buy shares of Tesla, what do? Let's do a quick synthetic stock. I haven't even looked at this. Let's see what it would look like if we hop in our jet and fly out in time. Now, I said I'd talk about FXI real quick. We're getting tight. Maybe I'll save that for the weekly debrief tomorrow because this is big. Okay. All right. Let's go Tesla. Let's fly all the way out in time. Somebody tell me what the disaster puts will be. Somebody already start doing the math. Options. Here's what we're going to do. Remember, when you're synthetic stock, you don't get to vote. Nobody cares about your vote anywhere because they use Dominion, and you don't get a dividend. I don't even know anything about Tesla and their dividend, and I doubt it. 680 or 700. Okay, thank you. Let's go to March 2023. Closest strike to here is 8. Wow, look at that, 850. Well, I guess there's an 850. Let's sell the 850 put and let's buy the 850 call. When you buy a put and sell a call with the same strike, 850, and same expiration, it gives you synthetic stock. Look at that. That line and that line, which look to be one line, is synthetic stock. It's a 1-for-1 move, right? Now, everybody's sitting here shaking, looking at the screen going, dude, I can't afford to risk 87 grand. Well, that's why I just asked somebody to go out and calculate what would be a disaster put. 680, it's close enough for government work. Well, there isn't one, so it would be 700. Okay, so instead of risking 87 grand, I just cut that risk in half. Look at that, only risking 42. And we could potentially bring in some front month coin by selling an upside call. I think Tesla is also like Amazon in the sense that it's tough to put a lid on it. I've kept it up on my watch. It isn't on this watch list. It is now to to put a cap on it. So Okay, good, Greg. Amazon is 23% of XLY and Tesla is 18. Okay. So if you want to, by Friday, maybe sell a call against it. I don't know, 900. Would 900 even bring in anything? Yeah, it would bring in a little bit. This is what I would do today. This is just one contract, folks, which is a lot of money. So this trade is a lot of money. What would I do instead? What would I do instead? XLY. Okay, let's just do that instead of doing Tesla because that's pretty expensive. XLY. SPX, man, off the lows of the day and a good run, man, up 13. This is probably the all clear, but again, I'm going to start. As I told the investment clubs, I'm going to start trimming my sails, man, because this looks a little. If we give, look at this implosion. We're more than half the implosion and we're hovering. If anything, I think we pull back short term to 3,800. Because look at this. Quick review. 3,800, 3,800, 3,800, 3,800. Oh, that's 2 weeks of support. Remember we had those battle lines, those 3,800 days. It was a magnet or it was a magnet up or down. Now look. So if we are going to have a little retest to see if we got some ground underneath us, it'll be back down to 3,800, in my opinion. And this is a good looking day to test that theorem or thesis. Do I have any cash over in here? So maybe I'll just do it in my live account so I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. 28 grand. Let me see if I can afford something in here. XLY. If not, I'll go do it in my paper trading. XLY, Jan 23. Somebody give me the disaster put. Let's do the one. Ty goes to the runner. I go deeper in the money. Sell that put. Buy that call at 169. Take a look at the picture real quick. That's synthetic stock. Okay, 153. Thank you, Jeff. Let's buy a disaster put down here. Buy put. What'd you say? Oh, here's what's funny is we're inverted. Is it 153 or 140? Somebody help me out here. 10%. That's 17. 17 is 34. What's that? 150. Yeah. 140 plus or 135. I'll go with Karen. 135. Okay. So that cut our risk down to 3 grand. From 17 grand in risk, folks, to 3. Okay. And look at this. This debit is only 121. So Uncle Wiz here is going to start scaling up here. Oh, wait. Why is this? I didn't do that shit. Yeah, why did it do that? Why did it do that? That's because I had the month selected. Clean, 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 clean there. Now I'll do the 170. My fault. That's what happens when you rush. Call 170. Make sure we're good. That makes more sense. You're always a good wing woman. All right. Buy the, what is it, 153? I'm sorry. Ba, 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 ba. 135. Sorry, my dyslexia. 135. This is all, you can play with the disaster put, folks. You go wherever you want. Yeah, this makes a little bit more sense as far as money wise. $1,100 ish out of pocket. Max risk is 4 grand. I'm gonna add some serious size into here. Close enough for government work. Excuse me. Maybe I can do 25 of these. I don't know. I'm just throwing some stuff in here. I might have to do 20. I wonder if I can do this. Places. Preview. Or is it going to give me a little warning? Come on, man. How much do I have cash? I got 28 grand, man. it's doing it on my haircut, the 91. I don't know what my margin shit is. All right, guys, let me. If I can't do big, I'll do it over in the paper trading. Options, XLY. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. That. Sell, buy, call 170, and option put 135. I'll show you what I'm going to do. And you know what? With the tech earnings, well, yeah, we could do one after Friday, just a short call, if the thing ever comes up. Of course, it won't sell. Front month, Feb 5. Let's see if we can get a little premium out of like a 171. Okay, let me see if I can do 25 in here. That might eat up a lot, though. How much cash is in this one? 60 grand. Oh, God, no, that's 110. Let's do, I'm going to do 5. Okay. Yeah, hold on. Yep, no, let me fix this. That's what happens when you're rushing. Sell 5 of the 170 put, buy 5 of the call. That is the synthetic stock. One trade. Next, this is tactical employment, and I blew through it, and you can see the errors. Buy the disaster put. Same strikes. Those are all good. Sell 5 of the front month if you want. I could be wrong. This could be a bounce and keep going. Don't sell the upside call if you don't want to. Up to you. This trade will have to be walked on up. What does that mean? Walk it on up, baby. Meaning you're not going to get filled at $10.05. That ain't going to happen. What am I going to do? I'm going to place this order, and I'm going to go downstairs, and I'm going to go walk around the lobby and go people watch, go sit on the deck down there and people watch. Then I'm going to come back upstairs and say, I didn't get filled. Let me walk it on up to see if I can get filled. You're going to have to go closer to the ass, folks. There's a magical, mystical happy point between the mid-market, natural mid, NMMO, whatever the hell it was called, XLY, 2-3 metric, and you'll find your magical happy place. Okay. Okay. Yeah, good catch, guys. Everybody was Johnny on the spot. Again, I should not be rushing trades. I don't know. Where you going? What's in the middle here? I don't know. $11. Nah, it's, I don't know, 10.55. Where'd you come up with that? I just typed it. And let's try and fire that and get filled. Whoops. Now, for the investment club members, I'm going to go bigger in this personal account. This one's got juice. It's XLY. XLY. Michael, thank you. This is great. So much better than just getting tips by text or email. Much appreciated. Mike, it's funny that there are still services out there. People still sign up for things like, I'll blast you a text or an email with a trade. And that's it. That's the service. Okay. Nice. Nah, man. I mean, I could do that, but that's awful. So you can't do that, man. Other Mike, love this idea. Sleep at night trade, guys. This is James. Got it at 9:50. Oh, cool, folks. This is we're back in accelerated retirement, baby. We're gonna start doing our deploying some ships, keeping some in port in case we have a historical February. Getting ready to deploy those ships, putting them on alert in case February isn't like this, and Janet and Jerome and the Democrats throw money at us like we're local folk dancers. So that's a great way to put it. We're going to get back to what accelerated retirement does. Over the years that we've been in AR, we've had nice long call diagonals or synthetic stock trades that close for six figures after a low initial investment. It ain't happening by Friday. This is accelerated retirement. Okay, so I'm glad we're getting back into what this thing was built to be. And I get solo Amazon, but the XLY is kind of with Tesla. I gave you that was my commit criteria. I gave you like an hour of my commit criteria, or 45 minutes of the Bezos, Elon Musk. Could you imagine if they joined? Oh my God, this just hit me. Could you imagine if they joined forces and did something? That would be fantastic. Mike, oh my God, that's the last thing any of us needs, a text alert. Yeah, buy to open. Yeah, no stop. Exactly. F me. Guys, I built Top Gun options because those services were out there. I'm like, how about we have this thing called a brief? It ain't called a long, it's called a brief. It's structured, this strategic, operational, tactical. This ain't rocket surgery. I remember that good old Lenny Dykstra, man, when I was doing the due diligence on the street.com. I'm like, what do you do? And you've never had a losing trade? Okay, I got to get back to Chicago. How am I doing here? Good looking bull put spread here, folks. Or I'm gonna, just like the guy in the song said, go on, take the money and run. That's a nice $3,000 today. So yeah, I'm running out of time. Let's not cover that today. Maybe I'll do a special webinar next week and go to training 200 people, and I'll explain what these investment clubs are and stuff like that. But yeah, we're an AR. I don't want to take up bandwidth, and I already went over by 7 minutes, so I'm not putting you off. I will find that out. Friday. Folks, it always cracks me up. Do me a favor and don't be this person. It really, it chaps my rear, man. Friday at 1, I'm going to open the doors for Solo Amazon. I love when kind of members show up to kind of this is marketing, man. If you show up to a marketing brief, please don't fill my chat box with, what are we doing with this? Or how's that? This ain't for you. You can come. I'd love for you to come. Don't cloud my chat box. Or yell at support like, I didn't get invited to the Solo Amazon brief. It wasn't for you, but show up. Okay? Give me a vertical head nod that you acknowledge that. It's kind of annoying. Okay? This business is built on churn. I told you my metric of success is when you email me and go, dude, I'm out. I got it. I'm going to the fleet. Where's my Top Gun options patch? Actually, I just ordered a bunch of those. Speaking about that, who won last night? We have 3 people who are going to go flying in the L39, which I have to call my mechanic because I'm not happy with what's going on. The guy who I'm buying it from up in Washington State, I guess they're like COVID freaks. I can't move it from this hangar to the getting fixed hangar because of COVID. I'm like, what? We're doing 6 ships down here in South Florida. 4 L39s, 2 Aero Marquettis, and a MiG-17. We're like doing dogfighting down here. I'm rambling. We are going to have an in-person event at Bondo. I miss Nestor. We're going to have an in-person event down here. And 3 people from my Max Afterburner group are going to get to go flying because they guessed closest to Microsoft, Apple, and Amazon earnings. But Graham Oldfield, who's been at Top Gun Options for a while, he's a hell of a great mate. He's an Aussie down in Australia, and he gave his slot up. He's like, Wiz, go take a veteran flying, which there's a lot of veterans in the Max Afterburner group. So we'll and guys, when we do a Top Gun Options event down here in South Florida, like I just said, I got a bunch of buddies with their L39s and Marquettis. Maybe I'm not going to overpromise. I'll try and take as many people flying as we can, and you guys can jump in the back and teach them how to dogfight. Maybe that's the win-win right there. So, next, so Matt, I love this. That's going to be our new mutual fund. I'm long the Matt, or I'm long Matt. Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, Tesla, or if you like the Brazilian airline, it's TAM. But okay. Good stuff, man. What a great week so far. I got to be honest with you. And again, I'm wearing my Lulu. I got a hood. I can put this on. with the sun behind me, I could, but if you got your mind right, you can trade like a fiend and just feel great. Or if you're taking it on the chin, it's not the end of the world. So take some time out of your day, man, to just sit there in silence and get your mind right, either in the morning or the afternoon, or do both, because it is definitely helping my trading to be a lot more centered. Cool. Any other questions, concerns? Oh, by the way, is there smart remarks? Go over to the ready room. Now, I don't even want to mention this because this is my stupidity, but Nokia has earnings tomorrow. I hope they have great earnings so my short calls get called away, and I take this 14 grand and I stick it in my eye as a sharp stick, and never to do this shit again. I'm telling you, man, maybe three big forays in my career, and this was one of them, and it was dumb. So please don't do. I'm still getting texts from buddies in Fort Lauderdale, own restaurants and shit, like, dude, what do I do now with GameStop? I'm like, did you not see the last text that said don't? But again, yeah, do as I say, not as I do. Okay. Good stuff. Tomorrow, weekly debrief at 10 a.m. We got a lot to debrief. And then Friday at 1 p.m., don't bitch about not being there. Because we don't Nestor Mabrice. So, okay. I'll get this trade posted here in a couple minutes, and then get the replay on the replay page. Okay? Awesome. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and God bless. Namaste. I'll see you guys tomorrow at noon for the debrief. 10 a.m. Sorry.